Hello, everybody. There's some consternation, to put it mildly, and Democratic hand-wringing over the supposed cave on the government shutdown. I'm here to tell you that it wasn't really a cave, but it was a victory in the larger perspective. Let's talk about why. First, I'm not alone in this opinion. I'm Jason Easley. I write for Politicus USA. I write for The Daily. I am not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I am a trained political scientist. A lot of the takes I'm seeing coming after this deal to end the government shutdown are really bad. They're really, really bad. They're from people who apparently don't follow Congress and who automatically assume that if Democrats didn't get the ACA subsidies restored, they quote unquote lost. Well, it's a lot bigger than that and a lot more complicated than that. Actually, Democrats won in terms of the big picture. I'm not the only person who says this. Tim Miller from The Bulwark had some really great points in a post on X, and I'm going to summarize just a couple of them. His first point was that even though Democrats didn't get the subsidies, what they did do was they exposed the so-called Big Beautiful Bill, and they put healthcare policy back at the top of the agenda. Think about it. When's the last time you thought about healthcare policy? When's the last time you were concerned about healthcare policy? If you're like most other people, it was probably around the time before John McCain stepped onto the Senate floor, gave it a thumbs down, and sunk the Republican effort to repeal Obamacare. Democrats won big on this because they fought, and they fought better and longer than any Republican ever has. They didn't fight like a Republican, they fought better than Republicans. And because of that, they have now set the agenda and they have put healthcare policy around the necks of the GOP for the next year. Because guess what? The Republican win, what does the Republican win mean? The Republican win means that they now get to own raising health insurance premiums and taking health insurance away from 24 million people. That's their victory. That's what they won. Democrats, on the other hand, can continue to fight for the subsidies for healthcare policy. And there's talk that the Senate wants to do some kind of bipartisan bill on healthcare. Now, the context for this is the Senate never really was enthused or wanted to repeal these subsidies, so they've been looking for a way to put them back for a while. They could have done it any time during the shutdown, but since egos got involved during the shutdown, there was no chance that was ever going to happen. And the big obstacle was always Mike Johnson in the House. Johnson won't give a vote to Democrats on the ACA subsidy extension in the House. So Hakeem Jeffries is working on trying to use a discharge petition or some other method to force a vote on the subsidies. Again, these votes, even if it would pass, Trump could veto it. There wouldn't be enough senators, most likely, to override the veto. This is all about the midterm election. Democrats won this, flat out won this. They won this the day the government shut down and they started hammering Republicans on healthcare. Democrats had the better strategy on this. And by the way, this wasn't Chuck Schumer's plan to make this deal. This is not Schumer's deal. This is a deal that 8 moderates made with Republicans. How can senators break away and just do what they want? Because in the Senate, senators are very powerful, unlike House members. They're their own little kingdoms. They raise tons of money. They don't need the Senate leader of their caucus or conference for anything. So they can go off and do their own thing. It's different in the House, where House members are running every 2 years and they are heavily dependent on the fundraising and the guidance of leadership in their reelection campaigns. So, Hakeem Jeffries has a lot more power to keep his Democrats together than Chuck Schumer. But Democrats won this thing. They set the debate. They fought hard